Many intelligent people know this feeling all too well. The deadline is looming, the stakes are high, and suddenly your mind, usually a fast and reliable tool, feels like it is moving through mud. Words that normally come easily are now just out of reach. The sharp, clear thoughts you depend on become blurry and distant. It feels fundamentally wrong, a kind of private betrayal. After all, if you are smart, you should be at your best when it matters most, right? But your brain is not interested in validating your intelligence. When the pressure mounts, it changes its entire operational goal. It stops trying to be brilliant and starts trying to keep you safe. What is really happening is a change in your mental workspace. Think of this workspace as the countertop where you hold ideas, compare them, and arrange them into clear sentences. Under pressure, a surge of stress hormones like cortisol effectively shrinks that countertop. The ideas are not gone, but the space to work with them is suddenly cramped. You still know the answer, you still have the insight, but you cannot seem to grab it. For highly intelligent people, this feels especially jarring, because their normal thinking style relies on a wide, expansive workspace to manage multiple complex ideas at once. The system is not failing. It is narrowing its focus to reduce the risk of making a critical error. Then, a second process kicks in that makes everything worse. Your own awareness. Intelligent minds are often highly self-monitoring. They notice the slowdown instantly. A quiet, internal commentary begins. Why can I not think of that word? Why is my mind so blank right now? This self-critique is not harmless. It consumes the very same limited mental energy you need to solve the problem in front of you. Your brain, in an attempt to diagnose its own sluggishness, ends up overloading itself. And here is the revealing part. The moment the high-stakes meeting ends, the moment the exam paper is handed in, clarity rushes back. The thoughts flow again, the words return. That sudden rebound proves a crucial point. You were never less intelligent. Your brain was simply operating in protection mode, not performance mode. This experience highlights a common misconception, that intelligence is the same as speed under stress. But high intelligence often relies on processes that are actually hindered by pressure. It involves flexible thinking, comparing abstract patterns, and exploring multiple possibilities. When your brain senses a threat, it suppresses that very flexibility. It switches from a creative, exploratory mode to a rigid, survival-focused one. The sophisticated mental tools that define your intelligence are temporarily put on a lower priority. So the slowdown you feel is not a personal failure. It is your brain's standard operating procedure for high-stress situations. It is a system behavior, not a reflection of your underlying capability. You are not actually forgetting things. What is happening is that your mental workspace is shrinking. The core mechanism behind this is the impact of stress on your working memory. Working memory is what allows you to hold and manipulate information in real time. It is the temporary notepad for your mind. Under stress, cortisol interferes with the prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for working memory, reducing its capacity. Everything you know is still stored in your long-term memory, but you cannot pull as much of it into your conscious mind to work with at once. Because smart people heavily rely on a robust working memory to connect disparate ideas and see the bigger picture, this reduction feels dramatic and disorienting. It is the difference between working on a large, clear desk and trying to assemble something complex on a tiny, cluttered shelf. Those moments of blankness are not evidence of stupidity. They are the direct result of a temporarily smaller workspace. Furthermore, pressure often triggers over-analysis, not clarity. It is a paradox. Thinking harder can actually make you slower. An intelligent brain is an engine for generating possibilities. When faced with a problem, it does not just see one path, it sees 10. In a calm state, this is a massive advantage, allowing for creativity and nuanced solutions. But under pressure, this same ability backfires. Your brain tries to evaluate all those potential options simultaneously, searching for the perfect one, while also trying to avoid any possible mistake. This leads to a state of decision paralysis. You get stuck weighing an overwhelming number of variables instead of moving forward. This is precisely why high performers can freeze during a crucial exam, a job interview, or a critical presentation. Their brain is not empty, it is gridlocked. At the same time, stress silently narrows your attention without any warning. Your brain is not just slowing down, it is also deleting information. The stress response is designed to laser focus your attention on the immediate perceived threat. As a result, your attentional bandwidth shrinks dramatically. Information that your brain deems peripheral is filtered out before it even reaches your conscious awareness. You lose context. You miss subtle cues. You might be staring at a problem, but only seeing a fraction of the relevant data. This makes you feel slow and confused, when in reality you are operating with significantly reduced input. You are not being obtuse. You are cognitively zoomed in so far that you can no longer see the whole picture. Language ability is especially vulnerable to this process. There is a reason even the most articulate people can suddenly find themselves unable to find the right words. Language production, the act of translating complex thoughts into precise spoken sentences, is an incredibly resource-heavy cognitive task. It requires a large working memory capacity and fast access to your mental vocabulary. When your brain is under stress, it begins to reallocate resources. It prioritizes core survival functions and immediate action over sophisticated articulation. Access to your vocabulary is one of the first things to become less efficient. Your reasoning abilities might still be intact, but the bridge between your thoughts and your words becomes unstable. This explains why people who are normally eloquent and persuasive can start to stumble over their words precisely when the stakes are highest. The very moment you notice the pressure, it often gets worse. Smart people tend to possess a high degree of self-awareness, which is usually a strength. But in a high-pressure moment, this becomes a liability. As soon as you detect that your thinking is slowing down, you start to monitor your own performance. You begin a running commentary in your head, questioning your ability and feeling a rising sense of panic. This internal monitoring, this meta-thinking, is not free. It consumes the same limited cognitive resources that you need to perform the task at hand. It creates a debilitating feedback loop. The pressure causes a slowdown. You notice the slowdown and get anxious, and that anxiety consumes more resources, causing you to slow down even further. Your attempt to manage the situation sabotages your ability to execute. Ultimately, your brain is not trying to help you perform. It is trying to keep you safe. Speed and elegance are not the brain's priorities when it perceives a threat, whether that threat is a physical danger or a high-stakes social evaluation. Under these conditions, your brain's primary goal shifts to error avoidance. It favors slower, more deliberate, and more conservative processing because that is the safest path. It would rather be slow and correct than fast and wrong. This can feel deeply inefficient and frustrating, but from a biological standpoint, it is a perfectly logical strategy. The mental slowdown is not a character flaw or a sign of weakness. It is a biological mismatch between your brain's ancient survival programming and the demands of modern performance. But here is the most reassuring part of this entire process. Recovery is faster than you think. You know that feeling of immense clarity that washes over you the moment the pressure drops? The sudden rush of all the things you meant to say, the perfect answers you could not find just minutes before? That is not a coincidence. Once the perceived threat is gone and your body's stress hormones begin to fall, your cognitive functions rebound with surprising speed. Your working memory expands back to its normal size. Your mental flexibility returns. That rapid recovery is the most powerful proof that your abilities were never gone. They were simply inaccessible. It helps you trust your baseline intelligence again, showing you that nothing was broken and nothing was lost. Your brain was just running a different program. Thank you for watching, and if this resonated with you, please subscribe for more content.